Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. So right after, or shortly after, last episode, I started working on a new build project. I will say it's not this building. I was going to work on this building, like the upper section, but one of the blocks that I need, I don't... Well, I could make it, but it would be easier if we automate it. And so we're going to be automating that here soon. Or at least a block that I have a plan for. So we're going to be working on that here soon. Also this, I kind of filled this area out a bit. I will have to get back in here at some point to deal with that, but that's fine. We'll be setting up something for that on camera. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and jump into a bit of speed building, and then I will be back with you guys. Oh, there we go. I'll be back with you guys in just a bit. Okay, so what we're going to be building today is going to be kind of like our center for magic. And of course, in this pack, we are looking at magic as tech also. Of course, because we're going to be kind of just doing a magical focus build without a whole lot of emphasis on tech. Even the tech stuff, we're going to try to make magical-ish builds. You know, there may still be pipes and things like that, but maybe more of a steampunk-ish feel to some degree. Like with our immersive engineering building, you know, it was more, you know, it wasn't like factory blocks and things, or, yeah. I think there was some factory blocks in that build. I can't remember, but, you know, it didn't really look like a traditional tech building that we would build or something. So this build is going to be fairly large. As you can see, I'm starting to kind of sketch this out. We do have a lot of clearing that we're going to have to do. And basically, I was just kind of winging this, and I was like, I'm gonna play with some shapes with the building guide. I love if you're trying to build something on a large scale or something. Sometimes it pays off just to kind of dive on in there with the building guide and have some fun and see what comes of it. And that's pretty much what I did here. And yeah, it was a bit of fun. I will say we have a lot of building this episode. I may not talk through the whole thing because it's like 30 minutes of building, but just to kind of give you some idea of what's going on, because basically it's a bit of a project, and we didn't even get the shell completely finished out, much less fleshing out. But like I said, it's a very large scale build that we're working on here. But I figured it was time that we got our hands dirty in like a nice big build, you know. And then right here, I'm just adding these little, kind of like little towers. They're actually going to have like tube type feel to them, with glass. And I've got some ideas for that. A couple different ideas that we may do inside of those, which I think will be kind of fun. And I decided to start a little bit higher and not work on the foundation first. The reason being is because it's important that we line up all of this to the walls, and this will be the same height as the walls. And so I decided to start up here, and then we would work our way down. Plus I've got to clear out that mountain. I will say that whenever I cleared out the mountain, I did use, and some of the clearing on this, I did use vein miner a bit because it was just so much clearing, you know, and we don't actually have a builder at the moment. So it just makes life a whole lot easier in terms of that, because I don't care for it too much when it comes to like mining and things like that, but when it comes to just large build projects, it's handy for that, I think. But I tried to keep the foundation level, so what I did was I would clear it all out, you know, the whole bottom part, clear that all off level, so the mountain was kind of floating, and then I just vein mined it out and got it out of our way. So, but yeah, this building was just kind of let's go with it. Let's have some fun with the building guide, and let's make kind of a magic-y looking structure with, like, you know, the kind of like the ley lines that kind of run around it. And we'll talk a little bit about those at the end of the video. We've got to get kind of a little automated setup going so we have lots of resonant ender. Ender pearl farm, not too difficult, and a melting system to stockpile a tank of that, because I actually need, I think, a lot of resonant ender for this building. Because I decided I want a lot of it. What we're going to be building today is a lot of gray and black and a little bit of grass and stuff, but there's going to be a lot of a green coloring to this building, almost kind of like eldritchy. Maybe taking some inspiration, I guess to some degree, from Bloodborne, but in a way, but kind of that eldritch green color. And there's actually a type of forestry wood that I want to get, and we're gonna have to get that a bit later. I don't have it at the moment. We're gonna have to get into a little bit of tree breeding and stuff like that for that. And this is gonna be a very tall building, probably the tallest. It's gonna actually sit over and kind of tower over our astral sorcery area, which is actually pretty high. I think where we build up to today is at like Y150, which is about the same layer as the astral sorcery area, but the very top of the tower is not done or anything. So, but yeah, that's kind of the ideas, and you know, I'm just kind of taking it bit by bit. We'll talk about some of the uses at the end of the video. We'll talk about some of the uses and ideas of what's going to go on the different floors. Kind of an idea of where botania and blood magic might go, and thaumcraft, and then of course we're going to have other tech stuff that we're doing as magic, and yeah. But I need different blocks from different mods, but I wanted a place so that we could actually start setting up a proper botania setup and a proper thaumcraft setup and a proper blood magic setup without having to do temporary setups with them. You know, we're trying to avoid to as much as we can, we're trying to avoid temporary setups a lot within this series, and kind of put things where they belong, and then build out and then put things where they belong, that kind of a thing. So this building is going to help us out a bit. It's going to help us out a bit. And of course, like I said, I didn't get to work on the little immersive engineering building that we've got yet, but we will. There's just a couple blocks that I want to get automated for that purpose. And I've also been thinking about a way for us to set up the metal presses so they look a lot less techy. But we'll be working on that floor and probably do some adjustment to the way the metal presses, because I don't just want them lined up like they are right now. Just right now they're kind of convenient for us. So we might do some adjustment with that, and move those around when we start building out that building a bit more. So, but yeah, so it's a bit of a project, this build is, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And also I want to say thank you guys for the warm welcome back. I've been meaning to mention that, and thank you for the warm welcome back after, you know, the whole FTC thing and everything, and internet issues, which internet issues have been cropping up on and off. Some days the internet works great, some days it's normal Zito horrible speeds, so I don't know. I don't know, but I think if they continue, or if it continues acting up or starts acting up real bad, I'm probably just going to take my videos on a USB to my dad's and just upload there. A little bit inconvenient, but you know, gotta do something to fix the issues. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for the warm welcome back. It's good to be back. I've been wanting to get back on this series especially and get back to building. I know there's been some questions about dig site. Dig site might come back, but dig site might come back just depending on how the internet behaves and things like that. I'm not going to stress myself too much on that series, because personally I wasn't as crazy as I hoped I would be about dig site. It was kind of just for me after the very beginning, I guess. But I've still got the world, you know, if internet behaves and I have the time to spare and stuff like that, I'll maybe finish it out, because I heard it wasn't very long, but I don't think I'll spend too much time on it beyond maybe just finishing it out, but we'll see. But yeah, I spent a big chunk of this week, what time I had working on this build, and then of course with MC Eternal kind of getting started on there. Of course, a lot of our focus will be on this series. This was the pack that I was actually like really missing during the FTC downtime. I love this pack and I love building on here. because of course that's our main focus on this, is just building big things and building this big this big build that we've been working on, this big city build, like Magical City, and still a long ways from being done, but we've got a couple nice builds coming together on this, and kind of spreading out a little bit and getting basic infrastructure in, and then we can kind of go through and polish. I want to start working on some of the houses that are over there as well here soon, and we got some builds we need to do in the farmland section, and I've been steadily working on finishing out the farms, but it takes a little while with how big those are. But we are going to get down there here soon and start building out some of those like little, they're not big walls that we're going to be building around the farms. We're going to be building out those small walls and adding the roads and stuff like that. So I'll probably be doing that as a speed build here soon as well. But I wanted to get this building in place just because there's a number of mods that we can start once this building is, you know, at least somewhat in place. We can start into some of those, and then they'll kind of work off of each other, because getting further in some of the mods that are going to go in here is going to allow us to get further on this build itself, and you know, it's going to kind of move back and forth with that. So, but at least start getting the shell of this together and start getting hopefully some polish in the next speed build. I know I mentioned it later in the episode, but we are going to be we'll probably be working on this in the next speed build again. But the next episode may not be a speed build, just because these do take quite a large amount of time to finish out between clearing and building and resource gathering. But yeah, so anyways, I'm just gonna for the rest of this video, I'm gonna let the music roll, and hope you guys enjoy the build. I guess we're probably about closing in on about halfway through. I think there was like 30 minutes of build footage, which ended up being about 13 hours, something like that total of on-camera footage, and then, you know, a bunch of stuff off camera. So but yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it, and let me know down in the comments if you guys like it or whatever. Of course, bear in mind it is still very much a work in progress, but we're steadily making progress on this monstrosity of a build. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so that's what we're up to so far. Now, I did go out and I was going out to actually gather some skystone. I did end up finding another peace candle, so I just dropped it right here for the time being. But this building is still very much a shell, and it's not even entirely a done shell at the moment. But yeah, because it's still going to go up a bit, and you know, the upper section is going to be raised a bit more. But I have some pretty cool plans. I think it's a bit massive, a bit on the massive scale, but we need a big building, and this is going to house a lot of our magic outside of Astral Sorcery. All right, because Astral Sorcery is going to be on these floating islands, which we'll be finishing these up. But I need actually to get into a bit of botania before I start finishing these out and push further into Astral Sorcery, of course, because I actually want I want a different color grass for that, and then I'm going to add some more stuff up here in the sky, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But this building here, we are going to make some stairs off to the side here, and whenever we come through and finish out this area, and that way we can actually walk up to it from the ground level. And then of course there's going to be a bridge here that connects, and then on the back side and then the other side there's going to be bridges that connect from these walls that kind of go around it and around the town. So they will connect over. Of course, this is going to stay open because the wall actually continues on back. So we'll actually be able to go underneath this and then around to this back section. There'll be some stuff back here. But this building here, this bottom floor, I'm torn. I don't know if I want to put botania down here or actually turn it into like blood magic. Maybe I don't need grass here. I don't know for sure. Because I think a blood magic temple would be pretty cool down here, but botania could work out really, really well. And then of course we're going to need thaumcraft and stuff. And it's going to be probably a lot larger than necessarily what we have to have, but that's going to be fine. Also, I did add this right here. This is just reinforced stone brick, trodden bricks, which is just cobblestone and wood, is all it takes to make that, of course. So, and then we're going to have some pillars around through here so that this roof actually looks like it's supported. Then there's going to be a roof over this section, and then the tower's going to go up a bit more. Not full circle, but we're going to have it kind of thin out a little bit, and then we're going to have some different layered sections, so we have kind of altered elevation as it goes up, and then we have to finish these little tubes here. I've got some pretty cool ideas, I think, for that. Also, this right here, if you're wondering what I was building, and once we put the floor in, I'm actually going to put wedges down through here, so it's a little bit more open on these cornered sections, but we're actually going to be covering this in glass, and I think I've got to get an ender pearl farm up and going, which is of course super easy in this pack, and I'm going to have resonant ender flowing through here, I believe, to kind of give it a green effect. And then on this roof here, you'll notice that these parts are cut away. That's fine. It doesn't have to be filled in right now. We're going to be doing something with this a little bit later. Once I get the right blocks and stuff that I want for this. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. Also, these lower sections, I haven't put the floor in. That's because I don't actually have the blocks that I need for the floor. And then the ceiling, I have to decide what I want for that. But got a lot of finishing out work to do in this, of course. But this is just kind of getting it in place. It's going to be a rather large build. But I wanted something that would kind of fit in with the walls and stuff that go around the town. And kind of plug into those. So I needed that nice height coming up for this, and this is going to be kind of our center for magical studies in this. And then of course this will have access to this through botania. I can never think of the name of it when I go to think of it. Luminizers, yeah, that's it, so I don't even have to look it up. Botania luminizers will have that connected over to there, and that'll be the main access for this. So this is just kind of like our center for magic. And then of course we'll have some other magic-y things in here, I'm sure. But originally I had a couple ideas, like, you know, I wanted to work on this building over here this episode, but there's a couple blocks that I think I want. And I'm going to need them, and I'm going to have to automate for those. And then over here, of course, the floors. Actually, one of the floors I want a specific type of forestry wood to do, I think. And then another floor I want to get into a little bit of botania to do. And then the inner floors, I have not decided yet. This is actually arcane stone, Celtic arcane stone. Funny story, actually. If we pop over here, I had quite a bit of these, and you can see I have totally tapped out all of them. I've got a few left over here. Wrong direction. Right here, I've got 1 air V crystal, and I've got 14 aqua V. Like, I actually had to go out and farm more crystals just so I could finish out what I've finished out so far. And it's not even totally done, but just to get a bit more of that put in. And this took a rather substantial amount of time. Of course, all this clearing, I cut that out because it was just probably not the most exciting thing to watch. I will say that I used Vein Miner for it because it was just so much, and I don't have access to a builder at the moment. So I figured I'm going to vein mine this because it was so much stone. So much stone. So I just flattened all this out, and I've got to do a lot of shaping up on the backside here, but we can do that a bit later because like this actually has to be dug down, and then it's all going to have to be shaped up and whatnot. I think the wall would come across right in here, so there's not going to be a whole lot of space on the backside of the wall that needs to be cut down, but I'm going to build the wall and then see from there what we want to do. So. But yeah, this has been a bit of work, to say the least. And this green glass was a little bit of a pain, but I will say we can get cactus green a lot easier through the mechanical squeezer. So it didn't make it too bad. I just ran to the desert and collected all that because I don't have a botania flower farm up and going just yet. But that's another reasonable method for it because bone meal. And you can have all the botania flowers you want. And we have lots of bone blocks. But yeah, and skystone. I had to farm up so much skystone. Like, I think if we pull up the map here, I went off in this direction a good ways. And you can see where I kind of flew out a rather substantial amount to find the... And yeah, there used to be meteors there. And you can see where they've been ripped out, and then across this there used to be a meteor there too. Oh, there's one right there and I missed it. I'll have to go back. And then that's the one. Yeah, that was the last one, but I ended up having to collect a lot of meteors to do all this so far, and I've still got a ways to go, so fun times. But anyways, I'm gonna end up this episode here. I know it's about wrapping up point. Next episode, I don't know if I'll have another speed build video for the next step. Probably not, because these actually take a rather large amount of time. Just the speed, the sped up footage was like 12 hours of footage building this, not to mention clearing time and resource gathering time and crafting time and all that fun stuff. So they actually do take quite a bit to do. So, but the next episode we might be working on one of our other projects that we need for building or otherwise, and then maybe another speed build coming up after that. So hopefully in the next week we'll continue with this build and try to get the rest of the shell done and maybe start kind of fleshing out, at least to some degree, getting floors in and stuff like that, but we'll see. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.